What's good, YouTube? What's going on, you guys? You already know who it is. It's your boy Marcus Hill from Up the Hill Fitness, back again with another video. In today's video, guys, we're going to be talking about training. What does it mean to train? And I'll be transparent with you guys and honest. This is my third time recording this video. I'm trying to record it on TikTok, and I've never recorded a video on TikTok before, and this may sound silly, but I don't know how to save it. But I just watched a video on how to save the video, so hopefully after this time I get it right. I'm training myself on how to use TikTok. And I'm not even posting this on your TikTok. The funny thing is I'm using this to post it on YouTube, but that's neither here nor there. Anyway, so yes, training. When I came up with Up the Hill Fitness, and I thought about, because my last name's Hill, so it just sounded good, like over the hill, like up the hill. Let's get up the hill. Up the Hill Fitness, right? And the slogan is train for the uphill battle of life. And I thought about how, like, you know, what training meant for me when I was younger, growing up, and even like the time I found it was profound. I was a freshman in high school, and I started lifting weights because I was playing football. I didn't stick with football, but I stuck with lifting weights. And I played other sports, and I just kind of like training for athletic performance, just trying to get more athletic. So it kind of was like, it was like a driving factor. Like, oh, I'm playing sports, you know, I'm recreationally, and sometimes like, you know, more organized sports, but like I would just work out. I just enjoyed it. And I think when I started working out, that's also a time in life where, you know, you have other influences going on. I was in high school, I was a freshman. With a lot of things that take place in high school from a physiological standpoint, like your hormones, your biological standpoint, things like that. Like all these things are going on because I'm growing into a different person. I'm growing into a young man, an adult. And I don't know, training was one of those things that kind of kept me on a narrow path, I guess you could say. Training and work. Having a job as I got older also helped me kind of stay honest. My grandma used to tell me, you stay busy, you stay out of trouble. And there's truth to that. But I say all this because, like, when my friends were like going to, you know, as we got older, and they were going, like, you know, sleeping with a lot of girls, and there's a part of me that felt like I was missing out, but it is what it is. It's in hindsight, it doesn't matter. You know, but going to the clubs, you know, we were 18, 19, well, not 18, you know what I mean, 21, going to the clubs and stuff like that. I had developed a habit over the years. I had trained myself to be like, oh man, I'll go out with y'all tonight, but, you know, I'm not going out with y'all every night because I got to work out in the morning. And even when I used to go out back then, I would still get up and go to the gym. I actually went out last night with a friend of mine for a late birthday celebration. We were celebrating my birthday. My birthday was September 26th. I turned 31, do the math. And I went out last night, had a couple drinks. I had 2 cocktails, 1 glass of wine. I was feeling fine. But I knew today I wasn't going to work out. Like, I'm not about to work out. I went to bed later. I was drinking alcohol. I'm not going to work out. But I still made a habit to get up and go to the gym. Back in the day, I would get up and work out like a fiend. And that was that was also not conducive for, you know, my health, but I didn't know what I didn't know. Now I'll get up, I'll go to the gym, I'll use the sauna, and then I'll shower, and then I'll get out of the gym and I'll go to work. But I've trained myself over the years to make it a habit to get up and go to the gym, even when I don't work out. And I've trained myself also to have a better relationship with, like, oh, I didn't work out today. Like, instead of feeling bad about it, or, you know, literally having like withdrawal symptoms and getting headaches because I didn't work out, I've accepted that, like, you know what, I've worked out several times this week. A day off isn't going to kill me, especially if it's a good balance for my social life too. Like, there's multiple components to health. There's physical, there's mental, there's emotional, there's relational, there's spiritual, there's relational, and there's financial. Like, those are the things that I look at. There's pillars, and sometimes all those pillars aren't going to stack up to the same level, but you want to have a level of contentment with those pillars. You want to be content with those things. So yeah, so one of those pillars of health is relational. I went out with a close friend of mine. I don't go out all the time because of my work schedule and just because I'm not really a going out type of person unless it's like an early dinner. But I'll hang out some nights. But that's good for my relational health. So a day of not working out isn't gonna kill me. But when I thought about training, I thought about life, and I thought about how you have to grow into the person, the thing that you want, the person that's going to receive the thing that you want, and that person's constantly growing. So, the acronym that I came up with T.R.A.I.N is you got to think, respond, account for, initiate/implement. You can decide in the comments which one you want to use. Are you going to initiate after this video, or what are you going to implement? And then you want to notice. You want to put yourself on notice, because sometimes you don't notice your growth. And when other people notice and they point it out to you because you haven't noticed it, you'll brush it off. You won't even give yourself that applause. Like, oh, my boy says, like, he'll say, like, yo, pats on back. You got to pat yourself on the back sometimes. And it's like, that's true. Have you noticed? You've made progression. Have you noticed the changes you've made? Have you noticed your growth? Even if it's not necessarily the outcome you desired it to be, have you noticed? What have you noticed? I noticed that the camera got a little lifted up. Let's try to keep it square. Here we go. But yeah, so, and that's a very important component to growth. I always like to bring it back to physical fitness and health because that's my space. I'm a trainer by trade, so like, I'll bring it back to that space because it's like, think about it with training. You had to think one day, man, here's a thought. I think I need to get in shape. I think I'm tired of being out of shape or unhealthy or wherever you want to call it. You respond to that thought by saying, you know what? I'm going to go get a gym membership, or I'm going to start going back to the gym. That's also an initiation. You implement something, but then you're but once you have a thought and a response, and sometimes we react, we don't think, we react, and that's a different conversation for a different time. But once we have a thought and a response, have we taken account for? This is where you start the weeds start to thicken. Have we taken account for the things in our current reality that aren't going to change as we try to make the change? Or, like, for example, I'm thinking about going back to school. I have to take into account all the things that are happening in my life. I'm married. I don't have children, but we have a dog. I have a family, and I have to still take an account for, hey, I have responsibilities outside of my goals. I have a 9 to 5. I have responsibilities outside of my goals. I'm trying to grow this platform. I have responsibilities outside of my goals. I have to take into account all that stuff and figure out a way to still do the things I say I want to do, despite not being able to control all the things in my life, but I can control what I initiate on. Hence this video. I want to grow my YouTube channel. I want to grow my business. I want to build a brand. I want to grow a platform for myself. Hence this YouTube video. I had a thought this morning. I responded to it. I accounted for what I had to do to make this video, to take action. And then lastly, you put yourself on notice. Have you noticed your growth? Have you noticed your progress, your process? Sometimes it's not about like, yo, I made a video or not. I'm not growing my channel, talking to myself. It's about, man, have you noticed all the growth that's happened along the way since you've made that last video? Since you've posted that last post? Have you noticed? Have you noticed all the growth you've made since the day you decided to sign up for the gym and get a personal trainer? Especially if you don't know what you're doing, if you can afford it, maybe for a session or two. It's always worth learning from somebody who's qualified to do the thing that you're trying to do. That way you don't hurt yourself and hinder your progress. So you want to take that into account as well. But have you noticed all your growth since the day you decided to sign up for the gym? Have you noticed? Have you put yourself on notice? Have you really done it? And that's what it means to train, man. You want to think, respond, account for, implement/initiate, and notice. Put yourself on notice. But all right, man, I'm about to be at that 10-minute mark. I just wanted to make this video and talk to you guys real quick. If you made it this far, thank you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I should probably start saying that at the beginning of the video because that's the thing to do, right? And drop a comment down below. Are you going to be initiating or implementing after watching this? Peace.